morning, everybody. Welcome to the press conference of the Interzoo 2026.
Good morning and welcome to the press conference 2026. I would like to extend a warm welcome to the press conference of Interzoo. I see you're already having breakfast. Please enjoy our buffet. Well, who invited you today? That's ZZF, the Central German Pet Trade and Industry Association, the honorary sponsor of Interzoo. The trade fair took its start here, and then the WZF was established, which organizes the trade fair. We have an association with a president. It represents the interests of the entire industry in Germany, of the zoo trade, pet groomers and breeders and retailers. We're here in Nürnberg with Interzoo since 1988, and they asked Nürnberg Messe to organize this trade fair on its grounds. And before you can get an own image of Interzoo and this great fireworks of products that you can find here, we would like to inform you on the development of the international markets, the international and national markets, how pet keeping is changing, which trends they are, and of course also about current data and facts on Interzoo and its supporting program. It will be a mix of German and English. We will start with German words of welcome and end with English words of welcome. So if you would like to switch later on, I think it is better if you take a headset too. We have 4 speakers today. If you have questions to our speakers, we kindly ask you to put them down and ask them at the end of our press conference. We will start with Norbert Holt-Henrich, the president of German Pet Trade and Industry Association ZZF. Next to him, we have Gordon Bonnet, the managing director of ZZF and WZF, the German Pet Trade and Industry Association and Pet Industry Services. Next to him, we have Dr. Rowena Arzt. She is head of exhibitions of Pet Industry Services WZF. She's responsible for the project of Interzoo for its program and the Interzoo Academy. I would also like to warmly welcome Mr. Georg Müller, the chairman of Industrial Association of Pet Care Producers, the IVH. Now the floor is yours, Mr. Holt-Henrich. A warm welcome. Good morning. Welcome to Interzoo 2026 here in Nuremberg. We are living in a world where appearances often matter. Pets represent something entirely different. A relationship built not on likes or filters, but on genuine connection. Perhaps that is exactly what people are looking for from dogs or cats or birds. A connection that needs no explanation but is nevertheless a bond that lasts. Even after 48 years in the pet industry, this special relationship between humans and animals continues to inspire me. And I am convinced that for many of the companies that are presenting at our Interzoo event over the next 4 days, this is both a driving force and a responsibility, because the pet industry is both socially significant and economically strong. Its innovative strength becomes especially apparent at the world-leading Interzoo fair. All over the world, pets are emotional anchors and faithful companions. In many European countries, their numbers increased last year. Germany, Italy, France, and the UK are the countries with the largest pet populations. One noticeable development is a slight decline in dog ownership. In Germany and most Scandinavian countries, Slovakia and Romania, the dog population stagnated or decreased slightly. Overall, around 200 million dogs and cats and some 80 million small animals, reptiles and birds are kept as pets. not to mention all the fish there are in aquariums and garden ponds. In Germany, 43% of households have pets living in them. The cat is the clear frontrunner at 15.7 million. Dogs come in second place. Their population has fallen by 500,000 to 10 million. The number of other pets, from small animals and ornamental birds to terrarium and home farming animals, has remained stable. In Germany, the number of families with children that own a pet has remained unchanged at 67%. An important figure for the industry outlook is the number of people planning to acquire a pet, which has stabilized at 4 million. This clearly shows that in Germany and all around the world, interest in living with pets continues unabatedly. What has changed, however, are the underlying economic conditions, and consequently the challenges for the sector and for animal lovers. Geopolitical uncertainties make the market unpredictable and are forcing adjustments. Rising costs for raw materials, energy, logistics, and personnel are driving up production costs. At the same time, pet owners are becoming more sensitive to prices. The result is a price war that is putting noticeable pressure on the industry. Competition is more intense than ever. Specialist and food retailers, direct to consumers, suppliers, online shops, and international websites are competing directly for the same customers. All sales channels are promoting special offers that encourage consumers to stockpile products. Most pet owners purchase from several sales channels. The online shopping segment was able to slightly increase its market share to 1.5 billion. At the same time, around a third of pet owners buy pet products exclusively in brick-and-mortar stores. The pet shop sector is holding its own by specializing, organizing events, and using omni-channel strategies. Nevertheless, brick-and-mortar retail plateaued at 5.3 billion last year. We are observing growth primarily in cat food and snacks for cats and dogs. This includes nutritional supplements, which I will go into in more detail in a little while. On the other hand, there was a decline in purchases of accessories like animal furniture, technology, or enclosures. As a result, the market for pet supplies and accessories experienced a slight downturn. Overall, pet owners invested around 7 billion euros in their pets last year. Globally, the picture is similar, with growth slowing but stable. Following 6% in 2023, the increase in 2025 was 3.1%, in an overall market worth more than 189 billion euros. The largest markets are North America and Western Europe. The Middle East and Africa market enjoyed strong momentum with a growth rate of 6.4%. In Europe, the UK leads the pack with 7.5 billion euros, followed by France and Germany with around 7 billion each. This shows that the pet market is continuing to grow, but in a more nuanced and challenging way than in the years before. In this context, one trend that stands out is animal health. For around 20 years, consumer trend analysts have been observing a strong focus on human health. Segments like food, fitness, beauty, and pharma are converging and offering holistic solutions for physical and mental well-being. Increasingly, this megatrend is being carried over into the pet sector. In 2025, pet owners worldwide spent around 10.5 billion euros on over-the-counter health products alone, an increase of 4%. There is particularly strong demand for these products in North America, Europe, and Asia. There are three clear drivers for this development. One, pet owners want to extend the time they have with their pets. Two, They are more conscious than ever of their responsibility. 3. Rising vet costs are increasing the focus on preventive health. As a result, interest in preventive health solutions is growing, not just in veterinary practices, but also at specialist pet retailers. In the functional animal nutrition segment, superfoods like cranberries, green tea, or medicinal mushrooms are booming. There are nutritional supplements designed to support digestion, joints, or even mental health. Other manufacturers are focusing on skin, fur, and dental care, as well as AI-assisted health monitoring and fitness trackers. According to the survey Generational Barometer Pet Food by Haristo, pet owners accept higher prices if they can clearly identify the added value. More than 80% of pet owners surveyed would give their pet special food if it had a positive impact on the pet's health. As well as health, sustainability plays a vital role, as does a growing services market offering nutritional advice and telemedicine, dog grooming salons, pet hotels, and aquarium care. In a nutshell, pet ownership is becoming more health-focused, using more digital tools and focusing on individual needs. You'll also notice this as you walk around Interzoo. Ladies and gentlemen, I wouldn't want to finish without commenting on the current important political progress being made at European level. A few days ago, the European Parliament formulated rules for the microchipping and registration of cats and dogs. The draft legislation bans practices contrary to animal welfare across the EU and sets clear guidelines against illegal trading structures. This is an overdue step towards greater animal protection and transparency. Following adoption by the European Council, it will strengthen the legal pet trade. And that's good as it is. The clear stance against breeding practices that compromise animal welfare especially is important to us, as it is an issue we have actively championed, particularly over the past year. Another crucial aspect is that it must now be clearly defined which breeding practices and which individual characteristics are to be regarded as cruel breeding practices. For me, this milestone shows that stringent animal protection standards and a professional pet industry go hand in hand. Because pets give us so much and need to be cared for responsibly. This is our mission. The innovations and expert insights at this Interzoo, whether at the stands, stages, or startup areas, show that we are on the right track. I hope that you have a successful time at Interzoo and come away with lots of interesting insights. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Norbert Holt-Heinrich. Right, I would like to announce our next speaker and ask Georg Müller to the stage. He is chairman of the Industry Association of Pet Care Producers, IVH. He represents the interests of the producers of pet care products in Germany, and he's going to talk about the development of the pet population and why people want to live with animals. Welcome, Georg Müller. Thank you. Dear Norbert, ladies and gentlemen, I would also like to bid you a very warm welcome to this year's Interzoo Fair. As you all know, we live in turbulent times. The overall economic situation in Germany is challenging for everyone, and that includes makers of pet care products and pet owners. Indeed, the sales numbers that Norbert Holt-Heinrich just presented to you prove that the market for pet care products remains strong, with a total sales of around 7 billion euros. So that's still quite a high level. According to our research, market research, and you can see it here in the chart, the pet population did not increase last year. Although the total number of pets was nearly unchanged from the previous year at 33.4 million, the population of the two most popular pets, dogs and cats, showed a modest decline. Now, taken by itself, this decline could lie within the normal range of year-to-year fluctuation, except that a trend can be discerned, namely that pet ownership has become more difficult. The general conditions have become more difficult. For instance, dog and cat owners have to contend with considerably higher veterinarian costs. But another adverse factor can be seen in the unrelenting tendency of government to impose increasingly strict regulations on the acquisition and ownership of pets. Also problematic are certain general trends in society, as the greater need for mobility after the coronavirus, the COVID pandemic, increasingly varied leisure time preferences, and continually changing work conditions. Now, all of these are trends and factors that are not exactly favorable to pet ownership. In view of these trends, which are also reflected in the current sales figures and pet population numbers, we must ask ourselves what we can do to improve the conditions for pet owners and preserve the stability of our industry. To this end, we and the ZZF together have for many years conducted a wide range of public relations activities on the subject of responsible pet ownership and the positive effects it can have on society in general. These activities include the production, for instance, of instructional materials on responsible pet ownership for primary school pupils, the promotion of scientific research, communication in social networks, and person-to-person dialogue with federal-level politicians in Berlin. We will continue to conduct activities of this kind. But we have also come up with new ideas about how to promote responsible pet ownership. After all, people's willingness to share their homes and their day-to-day lives with a pet is as strong as ever. The market research on the pet population that we have conducted annually with the ZZF confirms this observation. Well, the pet owners stated that taking care of the pet gives them great joy. They are important companions in their lives, and their behavior and observation of those pets is really fascinating for them. And this applies not only to today's pet owners. A large number of people is now planning or looking at the idea of owning a pet. Well, maybe because the children have left the house, or maybe the first joint project of young couples, the first exercise in jointly taking care of a living creature. So, clearly the potential is there. What is needed perhaps is a nudge in the right direction, the final argument why they should acquire a pet. Therefore, we will launch our first large-scale promotional campaign this year, appealing to potential pet owners in a modern and emotional way under the slogan, "It's a match." This idea, the idea behind this campaign is to apply the logic of modern dating platforms to relationships between people and pets. When one is right for the other, it's a good match, a relationship that is beneficial to both owner and pet. This campaign will be aimed at pet owners, of course, but especially not yet pet owners. We want to use media channels or media forms that are engaging, entertaining, and informative to highlight the many positive effects of pet ownership in all media channels. A pet can be a beloved companion that gives stability and meaning to someone's life so many years. It provides fellowship and enriches the pet owner's life. Taking care of a pet is good for one's body and soul. In our campaign, we also want to express our conviction that pet ownership is good for society in general. What's noteworthy about our campaign is that both manufacturers and retailers of pet care products can participate to increase the reach. And on behalf of the IVH, I would like to invite all manufacturers and retailers to play an active role in this campaign. Our partner plan will provide a wide range of possibilities to companies and associations to publicly support the campaign. At the trade fair, we will present a first flyer summarizing the main points of our initiative. And if you're interested, you can take this flyer with you after our press conference. I have no doubt that if we combine the strengths of our entire industry and collectively emphasize the joy and fascination of pet ownership, we will whet the interest and enthusiasm of younger generations to appreciate the rich rewards of pet ownership. Pet ownership also happens to be a significant economic factor, as shown by the findings of the latest study by Professor Dr. Renate Ohr. And this study by Professor Ohr was supported by the IVH. For the third time now, this economist from Göttingen University has calculated the economic value added of pet ownership in Germany. According to a latest study, 165,000 jobs are dependent on private pet ownership. She estimates the related sales for the year 2024 at more than 18 billion euros. After deducting imports from that figure, Professor Ohr found that pet ownership contributed about 15.2 billion euros to the German economy, which is really significant. It's a remarkable amount contributing to our economy. So as you can see, the economic value of pet ownership and the desire to make good lives for our pets is not to be underestimated. And that is also why many of our IVH members have come to Nürnberg to present their innovative products and cultivate new business relationships. I too am looking forward to many interesting conversations and successful dealings in the coming days, and I wish to emphasize once more just how important it is that we constantly communicate and highlight the value of pet ownership, not only for our industry, but also for society, in a way that can be appreciated by the public in general and government officials in particular. With this in mind, let us enjoy stimulating conversations, fresh ideas, and good times in the coming days. And we, IVH, we would like to thank our partner association, ZZF, for the great preparation. I think the first impressions are excellent. Yesterday, the opening ceremony was a particular highlight, I believe, and a very emotional start to the fair. So everybody at the ZZF, we keep our fingers crossed that these will be successful for days, and of course I look forward to a good start to Interzoo 2026. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Georg Müller.
We would like to switch to English now, and I would like to welcome Mr. Gordon Bonnet. He's the CEO of WZF, the Pet Industry Services, and of ZZF. And he talks now about the role and purpose of Interzoo and the awards presented to companies yesterday during the opening ceremony.
Einen schönen guten Morgen, herzlich willkommen. Ladies and gentlemen, members of the media, guests from around the world. You can see that I am standing before you with a smile on my face. Yesterday we officially opened Interzoo, and just a few minutes ago we pressed the button to kick things off. And now trade visitors are pouring into our 15 exhibition halls. What a moment, what a joy. Never in its 75-year history has Interzoo been as large, as international, and as diverse as it is today. And in these times, that is anything but a given. We are experiencing a phase in which economic uncertainties are growing, in which global supply chains are under pressure, in which wars, terrorists, and protectionist thinking are hampering international trade. It is a time in which trust in markets, in institutions, and in some cases even in cooperation has become more fragile. And right here, in this very place, the opposite is happening. Here it becomes clear we all benefit from trade, from open exchange, from global markets, from encounters, from the presentation of goods, from direct cooperation. At its best, a trade fair is not a place of division, but a place of connection. And anyone who experiences Interzoo quickly senses this is more than just an event. People from all over the world come together, across borders, across cultures, across political systems. Interzoo is a place where what unites us becomes obvious. The belief that progress comes from exchange, and trust comes from personal interactions. In this regard, the pet industry is a very special one. In my view, it's actually the most wonderful of them all, because the people who work in do it so with passion, with conviction, with heart and soul, because we love pets. And we want our products to make a difference. We want to do good for pets, which are family members to so many people. Our products help pets live healthier, live longer, be better cared for, and enjoy a higher quality of life. And that, in turn, touches on something very deep, the relationship between humans and pets, an emotional bond that supports, comforts, and enriches us in everyday life. When we talk about Interzoo today, we're not just talking about a trade show. We're talking about a place that goes far beyond halls, booths, and products. We're talking about a promise to an entire industry. Interzoo is an enabler. It is the place where ideas are not just showcased but born, where conversations give rise to collaborations, where competition turns into innovation, and where global industry becomes a community. Interzoo is growing because it is needed, not merely as a platform, but as an anchor, as a point of reference in the changing world of the pet industry. And it has grown because exhibitors, visitors, associations, and the media give it this purpose. Interzoo emerged from commitment of industry participants in the form of ZZF members, and they continue to play an active role here on the ZZF Trade Fair Advisory Board and ZZF Extended Executive Board. Our world's leading trade fair is organized by the industry for the industry. This also shapes Interzoo. It is both a marketplace and a global forum where we discuss the future of the human-animal bond. We discuss responsibility, animal welfare, sustainability, innovations that improve the life of pets while advancing our ethical standards. Today, Interzoo is one of the key places where animal welfare is not only discussed, but put into practice. And that is no surprise. Over the years, Interzoo has evolved into precisely this kind of place because it promotes dialogue. In the coming days, you will experience the international scope of this trade fair in all its power. Delegations from around the world, councils general, policymakers, representatives of European institutions, they all come together here. The fact that the EU Commissioner for Animal Welfare is addressing this event, that the German Federal Minister of Agriculture expressly acknowledges the importance of Interzoo, and that representatives of the European Commission are present in person. The fact that organizations such as the European Pet Organization hold their annual meeting here, and that the International Pet Advisory Council also gathers here. All of this demonstrates the special significance of Interzoo as a center of the global pet industry, as a place where the future is created. What sets us apart is not just our size, it is our role. Interzoo is the largest trade fair for the pet industry and the most international platform of its kind in the world. But these superlatives are not the core of what defines us. The core is this: we bring people together who might otherwise never have met. We create opportunities that had not even been considered before. Interzoo is a tool, an enabler, a place that connects people, markets, and ideas. And it is the result of an industry that works with great responsibility, innovative drive, and genuine passion. I would like to thank the exhibitors, the visitors, our partner associations, the political guests, and the media for their role in this joint project, because without them, Interzoo would not exist. Yesterday, as part of the opening ceremony, we honored companies to which we owe a special debt of gratitude. Company Ridogo, which is exhibiting at Interzoo for the first time and is launched an innovative product, was honored with the Pioneer Award. It is exemplary for all pioneers at Interzoo. The company Zealandia from New Zealand undertook an extraordinary journey, traveling some 19,000 kilometers from New Zealand to be here in Nürnberg. We recognize this commitment with the Long Distance Award. This company, too, stands as a symbol for all companies that undertook the hardships of the long journey to exhibit here. The Sustainability Award involved an intensive selection process among 28 applications. The jury honored the company DSM Firmenich from North Carolina. The laudatory speech was delivered by Elliot Harris, former chief economist and deputy secretary general of the United Nations. And the Interzoo Personality Award was presented for the first time, which had the honor of giving it to ZZF President Norbert Holt-Henrich. He has been at the forefront of the association for 15 years now. When he attended his first Interzoo in Nuremberg in 2012, the trade show featured around 1,500 exhibitors from 50 countries. Today, there are 900 exhibitors more, and 20 additional countries have joined. Behind the development lies a distinct approach, viewing internationalization as an opportunity and consistently building upon it. At the same time, Norbert Holt-Henrich has also strengthened the ZZF's political standing through diplomacy, authenticity, and the ability to bring together different perspectives. And that brings me right back to the heart of this event. Without this Interzoo, the pet industry would not be what it is today, globally connected, responsible, and full of promise for the future. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Gordon Bonnet. I would like to introduce now Mrs. Dr. Rowena Arzt. She's the head of exhibitions, responsible for the project Interzoo, as I said before, and she presents figures and data on Interzoo 2026 and the supporting program. Welcome, Dr. Rowena Arzt.
Thank you, Anton.
Ach nee, ich mach das ja. Machst du es doch?
Ladies and gentlemen, 2 years ago, I welcomed you during this press conference with the following words. Interzoo is the world's leading trade fair for the pet industry, and I'm delighted to welcome you today to the largest Interzoo since it was founded in 1950. And indeed, this statement is true once again. Interzoo has grown yet further and is the largest and most international in its history since 1950. The high level of international participants among both exhibitors and visitors is completely unique, distinguishing Interzoo in the pet industry and in the exhibition industry. Nowhere else in the global industry In the global pet industry, can this combination of global supply and worldwide demand be found at any other trade fair? With 150 square meters of exhibition space across 15 halls, this year around 2,400 exhibitors from 70 countries spanning all 5 continents will be presenting their products to a trade audience from 140 countries. This represents an increase of more than 11% in the number of exhibitors compared to 2024, and an increase of 7% in the exhibition space. Where does this growth come from? We are seeing, above all, increased demand for exhibition stands and space from European countries, North and South America, and Asia. In total, 87% of Interzoo exhibitors come from abroad. Among the foreign companies, we see a strong request from the following countries: China, Italy, Turkey, the Netherlands, Belgium, Spain, the USA, Poland, and the UK are the most strongest currently represented. New to the country statistics on the exhibitor side are Egypt, Kazakhstan, Morocco, Mexico, Peru, Saudi Arabia, and Trinidad and Tobago. Also new are 3 additional country pavilions, and we are very happy about that. We have now also a pavilion from Thailand, from Turkey, and from Spain. In total, 16 nations are presenting themselves this year with their own national pavilions, and this is also underlining the global significance of Interzoo. At the product level, actually many exhibitors are active in several segments. Around 70% of these companies offer products for dogs, whilst 59% present cat products. 12% of the exhibitors are showcasing products for small animals and rodents. At 10% of the exhibitors, visitors can discover the latest from the world of aquatics, whilst over 5% of the exhibitors are displaying new products from the terrarium sector. 8% of the exhibitors are showcasing products for ornamental birds. At 10% of the exhibitors, industry professionals can find solutions in the field of pet food technology, and we are also very happy about the cooperation we're having with What Global Media and pet food industry events for the Pet Food Forum Europe. Ladies and gentlemen, Interzoo is a unique mix of products, exhibitors and visitors, and that enables the pet industry to establish, maintain, and expand business contacts worldwide during Interzoo during this week. Especially in times of geopolitical uncertainty, logistical challenges, trade fairs play a vital role and are drivers for supply chains. The startups represented at Interzoo provide additional impetus for the industry. This year, 59 startups are making their trade fair debut across an area of 460 square meters at the subsidized Young Innovator Joint Stand and the International Startup Collective Stand. In addition, of course, numerous startups have also registered individually. A breath of fresh air also comes from the Fresh Ideas stage, with more than 30 innovative presentations spread over all 4 days at the fair. And I'm particularly looking forward to the Fresh Ideas contest, which will take place again on the 15th of March, so the 15th of May, so on Friday. So I cordially invite you to join this as well. So we give the innovators a very special possibility to enlarge their visibility. Interzoo is not only the leading trade fair for the pet industry, but also serves as a model for the state-of-the-art trade fair. In addition to product presentations, offers conferences and networking opportunities, and Interzoo addresses the industry's most important topics. The diverse and high-caliber supporting program includes formats such as the Pet Food Forum Europe, the Interzoo Groomers Day on the 14th of March, also taking place for the very first time, the Fresh Ideas stage for the startups and innovators, the Academy sessions, and a completely new sourcing stage in Hall 12. The sourcing stage in particular, with more than 25 presentations on challenges and opportunities in shaping international supply chains, brings a highly topical issue into focus. All these programs promote knowledge transfer, innovation, and international networking. And again, I warmly invite you to take part in these exciting events over the coming days. Sustainability is also of particular importance this year. Just yesterday, 11th of May, the Interzoo Sustainability Conference took place for the very first time. with more than 130 participants from all over the world. And literally, we had people from Australia, China, Mexico, Europe, so really around the whole globe. The conference opened with a keynote address by Elliot Harris, an economic expert and former Deputy Secretary General of the United Nations. As well, he is one of the co-founders of the 17 UN SDGs. The aim of this new full-day conference as part of Interzoo is to bring together international experts, companies, organizations to discuss sustainability strategies, regulatory requirements, supply chains, resource conservation, and responsible entrepreneurship in the pet industry. The format creates space for an in-depth discussion and sends a clear signal. Interzoo is actively supporting and shaping the industry's transformation process. This conference was completed by the 5th edition of the Interzoo Sustainability Study, conducted in collaboration with Antwerp Management School, the new Sustainability Product Showcase in Entrance Mitte, which you will see, it's also indicated with certain colors, and also the Interzoo Sustainability Award, which was presented yesterday also for the first time. And with the award, we recognize companies that make a measurable contribution to a greater sustainability growth, their products, processes, and a holistic strategy. Our aim is to make Interzoo informative whilst also creating opportunities for the industry to network. Examples of this include the Terrarium Showcase. This is between Hall number 1 and Hall 3C, and the new Aquasphere, a digital place in Hall number 11, and I really invite you also to take a look at that. And of course, the Interzoo party. And ladies and gentlemen, it's getting tropical this year. So everyone can look forward to a tropical night at Interzoo, hopefully celebrating there the first successes of the trade fair and networking in a relaxed atmosphere and having fun. With the event, with this event's experiential nature in mind, we have initiated numerous new activities this year. With all these measures, we try to create a genius Interzoo atmosphere at the exhibition grounds, in the halls, and beyond. And I don't know whether you have recognized the DJ this morning in the opening area, and also some advertisement in the subways, actually. So it includes, for the first time, also our own Interzoo merchandise. This is also a merchandise booth. You can buy Interzoo products in Entrance Mitte, a dedicated Interzoo song, which you hopefully have heard and you might dance to, and a greater visibility in the whole city of Nürnberg. All this serves, only one single purpose: to create a strong, unifying platform for the entire international pet community, a world-leading trade fair where the pet industry meets, initiates and concludes business deals, exchanges knowledge and networks, sets trends, seeks solutions together, and celebrates successes. I'm delighted that you are part of this community today, and I wish all of us inspiring conversations, new perspectives, and a very successful Interzoo 2026. Thank you.